Scrap. Interesting. The defense come by this evidence. It's lodged in the chamber of Mr. Grab's pipe. My pipe, you say, by Jove, I wonder how that got in there. Council. Yep. I am. Another piece of evidence already in the court records. Reveal the whole truth. You appear rather confident at extraordinary statement, counsel. Very well then, present the piece of evidence to the court. The jackknife here. This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see that there's a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. Luckily, we have the tip lodged in the victim's bones. It's my fate.
Objection.
No, that's not the case. Tip of this particular nice blade is a very fragment of metal that was discovered in the pipe. Ah! Good grief, Lord Van Zeeks. I don't believe it. Knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. Good golly gracious. Order, is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle. So Van Zeeks has figured it out, has he? Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is, when did the fragment of metal find its way inside the pipe? Something that was clarified to us in the recent moments testimony. And this thing had unusual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out of my hand. One of her soft projectiles she did, yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh, dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victims were on the pavement below, Mrs. Gabbett flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Gabbett instead striking the pipe, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord, yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside the pipe. A million to one, and yet it happened. To go play the lottery. Yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out the open window. In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the house, the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the streets.
Objection.
I had to figure he was going to object to that. Right theory, I'll give you that. Complex boutique of seemingly trivial points possibility range to create a almost passable vintage. Fan carefully Nipsey's approach of bolting his argument. Bottling his argument, sorry. But after all, it's just a theory. The bottle, I fear it's crooked. As you see, it's spoiled by an immensely inexplanatory inconsistency. Wait, what? What Van Zeke explain yourself? What is this inconsistency? Consistency of the simplest nature, my lord. Found with a knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her. Ah! That's right, you silly little man. Now, Jonathan. Case once more. He then was walking along the pavement, being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. The knife that struck her had fallen from above. Yeah, probably would have hit her head or something. Exactly, if the knife had fallen above, struck her on the top of her head, yeah. Well, that's what's good. I knew it. I don't like his theory in the first place. I don't know though. What really did happen? It appears the fence has made a rather spectacular blunder. One inconsistency cannot stand. Theory, my learned friend, is history. Well, it still means the knife ended up down there somehow, some way. I'm sure we were on the right track. But now, the one way has been blocked completely just by one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and theory will stand. Misatsu. You mustn't worry, Mr. Norindo. We just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. But the path you were on is indeed correct, and it weighed 100% itself. The key to this is the court records, I'm sure. All the information you need is there. Seems she has something to say, my Niptee's friend. Well, your science speaks volumes. Tact acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection!
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If I fell on the victim from above, there's no way that I could have hit her in the middle of the back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There's a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. It can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. When we have the answer. Goodness. Utter madness. Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece of the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. Back is... Well, I want to save this at least. Case file, crime scene. to assume it's the book here.
Take that!
The burnt book. Book. Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. The photograph print clearly shows the book in question, the victim holding it in her hand. This policeman constable to put the book between her fingers like that. Oh. That's true, however, as part of his testimony, Constable Badet made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place the book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure that it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked up the book of own volition. Clearly, there must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I didn't imagine she'd been doing much of anything else. So the question becomes, why did the victim have the book in her hand? By Jingo. I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh dearie me. You know, the book fell from the top floor of the Godep household onto the pavement below. At precisely that moment, the victim was walking past. Yes, exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, and all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her. The book, I suppose. Yes, Mr. Cabinet, and what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you're walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked up the book. Yes, that's exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick up the fallen book, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing up the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, at the very next moment, while the woman was so bent over picking up the book, the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, is straight into the middle of her back. At the same time, walking by chance behind Miss Green was the defendant, Mr. Sosuke Natsume. Well, I never. It appeared to Mr. Natsume the woman suddenly collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knives falling on her from above. And if from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim, apparent attacker, so there never really was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No. There was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. That is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Grabed, when he showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that. There, old bean. Poor Mrs. Grabed. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John Deere. It's alright. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry! You can do it. I think. Oh, nope, there it goes. Lord VanSiek, what news of Mrs. Gabed? It's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events have left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There's no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. There is some good news, however, my lord. I just received word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctors believe she will regain consciousness soon. It's strange. I'm talking about the victim all this time, but we never once met her. How wonderful. This woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. So, Mrs. Sosuke Natsu. Yes. On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take the opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been paid immensely with unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apology. No, it's me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsu. That evening, when the young lady just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. I was sure that the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Bed said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure the evil spirit's lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Sosuke-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yes, poor man. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog of spirits. I should really never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help for a doctor for the police. Instead, I managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. For that, I am truly sorry. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirits within. And that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by the spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord VanSiek and our young lawyer here from the east, the chain has now been broken and the spirit exercised. I heartily commend you both. Oh. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. Including this trial, I must ask one last time for your decision regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As a foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion. Times. Well, I didn't expect the woman next to me for that. That's for sure. Sitting in the old being while she's out of action, but I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'm finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I say, I'll conquer the story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Yeah, you will, my good sir. Yeah, you will. Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I hereby demand your final decision. Mr. Foreman,
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
very well, Mr. Sosuke Natsu. I hereby pronounce you not guilty. And finally, Mr. Natsu. Oh, yes, Lord Sir. You are now a free man once more. It's my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Oh, yes, sir, of course. On my life. I swear I'll never step foot in a courtroom again. Transported to the tears. Thank you, counsel. Court is adjourned. Wait, you mean me? Of course. Is there another locum here? Is there even one? Due to the original locum student, Mr. Natum Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, alas, I'm free. I'm free. Choice. Wait. Okay. Oh, I'm pleased. Mr. Natsu is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that then? Locum, you did it. Saved me from the brink. Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that. Yes. I mean, as I said before, I have just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings, and high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing, looking at the little hunchback. Oh dear, I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsu. But today, your local lawyer gave Gloom the boot. Stood firm behind that Brado bench, all those babbling British. He battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed. The best. Well, that's very flattering, and very pleased for you. This took me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friend back in Japan. An anecdote. Is that what's become of all my hard work? There you are, my dear fellow. Hello, Sholmes. You're waiting. I was late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure. I see, I'm here now a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I am glad to say. Oh? Trial shall begin presently, Mr. Natum, and I wish you the very best of luck. It just finished. What? No. My haste was in vain. It's you. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsu, man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes. I see. I failed to recognize you at first. A previous encounter have taken place in the gloom either of your bleak lodging or the prison cell. But somebody cannot place that curious face in the light. Jumping. This is all your fault, Herlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm gonna give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. The fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Ah. Had she been taken to the hospital more urgently, I thought perhaps she would have gained consciousness by now. Oh. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. You were but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very bad about how I behaved. Oh, never mind. Now then, what was it you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Priceless. Oh, I'm so very sorry, really, but that was quite priceless. Poor Sasuke. So, on the bright side, we had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. But there was no bright side. Whatever you mean, Mr. Natsu. Even after all this, I'm still cursed by the spirits, and now by the Reaper. Ah, one of Vengeance. I haven't forgotten you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed. It won't be alright, Mr. Natsu. If it appears again trying to make trouble, I will protect you. And second takedown. Much as like being churned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Mr. Natsu. So, Mr. Natsu, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan. Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh. It only has been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. While I visited universities, libraries, bookshops, I've been honored with trilogies of professors. I learned so much about the worth of literature here in the city it has shaped. And I have come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. It's very touching, Mr. Natsu. Or, and perhaps less fair terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse. That's not it at all. The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling crawls on my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. The work of literature by Sosuke-san. Gonna be interesting to read. And what about Miss Satu and yourself, Mr. Narendra? Sorry, what about us? Will we return to Japan alongside your mustache compatriot? Why would we? Week has not passed since we arrived in London. Now, and only now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet. And you're accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right, we need to find lodging before it bankrupts us. Calculating we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Yeah, but what it lacks in windows is more than mixed up with floor, ceiling, and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit? Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. Not a wake-up call. Well, we'll think about it, and if that's alright, perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. You consider taking lodgings with me. Really? Well, a vacancy has currently presented itself. Though it is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I'm assuming you have no luggage to speak of. Oh, that is simply wonderful. An honor to be invited to I'm too overcome for words. So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Yep, she is. Dead set on this place. Then it's settled. I also prepare a welcome dinner this evening. You must come too, Mr. Natsume, I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you, and yes. Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Welcome. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume, it's been a privilege meeting you two. Shame that you're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I couldn't realize that I belong in Japan. But welcome. We'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go? Yes, sir. That's Miss Sholmes. I wrote down Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so say Sans innocence successfully established. We go with Miss Sholmes to what was to become our new home. 221 Baker Street. The attic room. Doesn't look too bad. So this is to be our new office, yes. Our office. I like the sound of that. Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you see this, Cosmo. It's only a small step. I like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Mrs. Sholmes, yes, thank you very much. So much. It's a delightful room, Mrs. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. I hope everyone's hungry. It's soon time for dinner. Well, we'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We'll have a lot of celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid. So, Mr. Nuno, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what advantages it await us. It was a place precisely my sentiments when I first stashed my office at these premises. Till I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry. London is a glorious place full of wonders, opportunity, possibility, and myth. But the brightest of lights casts the darkest of shadows. Shadows, what do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies below London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Nobunaga, Welcome to London. Of course, at the time, I had no idea the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. And then the Hound of the Baskervilles.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited breathlessly in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical Hound of the Baskervilles."
Okay. Passed by in a flash. That sort of cool experience we were first thrown into at the first day we arrived at the country. And it's also considered a terrible ordeal that followed close behind. We had much victorious. However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was sharply surprising, of course. Since I was nothing more than an amateur and an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So our life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by the fateful telegram. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he gone, Dr. Sand's behavior became very obviously strange. Dr. Sand? Yes. Is it time to leave for court already? Let's see, what case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, of course not. How silly of me. I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mrs. Sholmes' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting form. So what's cases today? Here we go again. So what was the about? The telegram that was told this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? Oh no, what you talking about? Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It's just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times in a row she's tried to trying to fail to convince me it was nothing. I promise I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. I thought Sosuke-san will have arrived back in Japan by now. Yes, I should think so. Left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or just be a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had a very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seemed the voyage had been going well. Something wrong? I was just wondering what might have been come of Sosuke-san had he stayed in London, that's all. I mean, as regards of Lord Van Zeke Reaper, yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. Just to say that no one stands in the docket can be saved from the Reaper raid. Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived. Even 2 months on, the case of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yes, but at least Sosuke-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably, that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps? Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. The legend of the Reaper, it is believed it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past few months. Surely not wielding the sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zeke hasn't appeared in the courtroom once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, and Sosuke-san's trial, he's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen at court at all for several years. So, it's just been me who's had a face to him recently. It's bad as a trial. Just my luck. I wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. With that, and let's go down and get breakfast, I guess. Morning, Bruno. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris. What's Bruno? That's a terrible noise. It sounds like a cat being strangled. Ah, yes, she knows that, did you? Hurley isn't in the best form this morning, it seems. Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Good morning. A good morning to die, perhaps. What? Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytic mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. What? Damn that blanched existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it about time we ate? Some dry toast and instead coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble. Cat. Oh look, it's Wagai. Good morning, boy. Meow. That must be some tiny dwarf with a cat to use. But how did it get in here? Get there. Well, then everyone time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. Ugh, it would indeed be a fine day to die. Okay, what has happened to Sholmes? No, seriously, what did? He was very upbeat and exaggerated, and now he just wants to die. Something's missing from Miss Sholmes' desk. Yeah, it's that giant contraption thing. Yeah, why do you want to die, my good sir? What happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sounded like dawn chords. Maleficent told me to make flowers bloom. It would. But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddess of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean? For hours I bowed, for days even through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, it's lost. The brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more falsettos or unbridled emotion. Oh, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry, I'm sure I'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruto, goddess of arts and are fickle. One day they bestowed genius on a man, the next they the unmercifully withdrew it. Oh dear. Why has this happened to me? They take the churn I have for the violin from me. What is left? For pity's sake, what is left? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? The Sholmes, I don't like the pie, but this looks rather empty today. Well done, Miss Satsu. Your observation skills do you credit. Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes, the pale and insignificant. You're shocked not to notice, weren't you? I mean, Hurley's great. That's at Winnebank now. Sorry, it's at Winnebank? The pawnbroker. Pawn? What? You mean you pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservedly. Isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. Dear madam, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Unless the use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is. It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It seems that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh. I guess we'll figure out what pawnbroking is and we'll finish for the day at least, I guess. People in London, pawnbroking bookies are akin to banks. Banks. On Mondays, merchants relinquish the finest jackets and tappings to the pawnbrokers and shelves. The money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. Yeah, And then on Saturday, they go to recover the things using the money they've earned. I had no idea this has been a fascinating lesson for us. Ooh, it doesn't, especially people in London. Should they have the money spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear outly, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Winnie Banks, you see. The pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Alright, well, I guess I'll save and call that good for now, so... Let me find a raid targets. Alright, well, I'm gonna be reading some Jamie Demon. He is currently playing some Mounts for Hire, so let's give him some love.